Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, a big number, 220, and it's a little bigger than normal because I've got the one and only Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary,
Great to
live
be here.
and in
Thank
person.
you. Thank you.
So here's the deal. I didn't know if this was going to work, but Kevin is such a gentleman. We just got finished filming an episode of Ask Mr. Wonderful. Guys, down below this video, we're going to link to that episode down below. And while you're there, make sure to go and subscribe to Kevin's channel. Kevin, as an entrepreneur, there are a few questions I want to ask you basically to get your advice for the gentleman out there. First question. If you had one tip for somebody who is thinking about starting a business, what is your best piece, single piece? And I know this is hard because there's so many, lessons that you need to learn. What is the one piece of advice you would give somebody starting a business or thinking about starting a business?
I always say the same thing to everybody, and I've learned it myself the hard way. Just because you love the idea doesn't mean the market wants it. And the only way to prove yourself right or wrong is to sell some of it, whatever it is. Even if it's a prototype, even if it's a scratch of an idea that gets you towards your ultimate product or service. When you sell something to somebody that's not your mother, cousin, brother, sister, a real person that wants to buy it because it solves a need for them, which is how all great businesses are formed, you start to get feedback about what they don't like about the product, which is way more valuable than what they say they like about it. Because if you can start knocking off the reasons they don't like it, you just create a better and better and better product. So I tell everybody, look, it sounds like a great idea, but just because I tell you it's great, I'm just one person, even though there is only one Mr. Wonderful. I just wanted to point that out, in case you didn't know that. But it doesn't matter what just Mr. Wonderful says. You need hundreds of thousands of people to endorse a product. And I say number one step is sell some. Sell 100 of it.
Sell one.
Yeah, sell anything and then get that feedback, but not to your mother. It's got to be somebody that's arm's length.
Great, great answer. All right, Mr. Wonderful. Next question. We get a lot of people asking about money because they think that if I'm going to start a business, I need a lot of money. And I guess it really depends on the business that you're going into, obviously. Like if you want to start a car company, you're going to need a different amount of capital as opposed to a online t-shirt business.
Right.
And so if somebody is out there who wants to start a business, they don't have deep pockets because, I mean, really, what entrepreneur really starts with a lot of money? Not many, I'd imagine. How would you recommend them go about funding their idea?
So what I found to be a fact is that if you look at companies that were given a whole lot of cash to start because they're very successful in raising it, they tend to be extremely unproductive in the use of their capital in the early days, the first year, because they feel that they're invincible because they have so much cash sitting in the bank. Maybe they did some kind of a crowdfunding deal, or they got sourced funding, or they actually got a VC to give them money at some stupid valuation. They piss away a lot of money. The ones that actually are more successful in terms of productivity, in other words, that get farther with less, are starved of cash. They don't have any. So they're very, very concerned about every day and how they waste or not waste that money. And they're the ones that learn the mistakes earlier and don't make them as often. I've found that fat and sassy and full of cash is a really bad start. I like the starving artist approach to entrepreneurship because innovation happens that way. So how do you fund that? The best I found is if you're doing, let me give you an example of a food product or something.
Love it.
You know, and you've got a great idea for a food product. Maybe it's a natural version of something. And I'm actually thinking about one right now that I'm dealing with. They have no money, but they have a great product. So what do? They went to their local Whole Foods store, met the manager, two women, so that's an advantage for them because Whole Foods wants to support women entrepreneurship, and said, look, we don't have any money, but we have a great product. Have your buyer try this product. They said, we love this product, but if you don't have any money, how are you going to ship us 10,000 packages? They said, we don't. Just give us 3 stores, and we'll go make enough by hand to fulfill an order for 3 stores, and just pay us in 30 days. Help us get going. And they said, I'll do better than that. I mean, we want this product, and we want to help you grow. And they actually worked with them to get them some cash to build the inventory to sell it through. That's a great company. That's a great company helping entrepreneurs in their local market. After they proved it out in a few stores in their local market, bingo, they rolled out a region. Then they rolled out all stores east of the Mississippi. Then they went to the whole country because they had the cash. Innovation, because they had no money. They gotten their hands and knees and begged to the buyer to help them. And they did.
As something that I always think about when it came to hiring for me, I want somebody who needs to pay rent next week, as opposed to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I want somebody who is hungry, and that's the thing that I think I've learned for myself is if you're hungry, you will figure it out. If you have an idea that you want to do, if it's burning inside of you, and this is something like you've got to do it, you will find a way. If it means you've got to go an unconventional route, if you've got to take a different direction, that's fine. But you just need to work hard and figure it out. In terms of funding for capital, there are pros and cons to everything, right? I think, friends and family is great, and I think that's an opportunity for some people.
But if you have sales, believe me, money finds you. If you're growing sales and it's working, and if you've got a great product or service, money will find you. I know it's easy to say, but growth and sales are the answer to everything.
And that's one of the things that Tiege Hanley, and that's what this vlog is all about.
That's just shameless promotion.
Yeah, shameless promotion. It's on the Tiege Hanley channel.
Outrageous.
Tiege Hanley, hold this, Kevin. Now, your skin looks amazing. What is one of your favorite products that you've ever seen on Shark Tank?
There's been a bunch of interesting ones. Probably the most powerful emotional moment was Benji Lock, the guy that invented the padlock that is opened by your fingerprint. And he patented it, and he won the CES award 2 years in a row, global award for product innovation. But the guy was down and out, and he'd lost his job as a real estate salesman. And his wife was a teacher, and they had 3 kids, and he didn't know what he was going to do, and he was gaining weight, and he went to the gym and saw people snapping the locks that they'd forgotten the combination. He came up with that idea. But when he told the story on Shark Tank, there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
I just watched one the other day.
Even the cameramen were crying. And I looked around and everybody was bawling, and I went, whoa.
I just watched one the other day. With the cutting board and the father who died.
Brutal. Yeah.
That one, I was crying sitting at home, and I cry easy. You cry.
Yeah,
You're a very emotional guy as well, Kevin.
It's true. I have a heart, and I try not to show it.
No,
But that episode, nobody could believe the fate of the family. The mother dies, then the father dies, and they're like teenagers.
No, and they're standing there like, this is for my dad.
Yeah.
So the whole idea behind this was these 3 kids come on, and their father, who was a firefighter, who ended up dying because he was helping.
And the elder daughter became the matriarch of the family.
And she was like 23 years old, right?
Imagine that being thrown on your life and still making it onto Shark Tank. The story was heart-wrenching.
Your mom dies, your dad invents this.
He was a 9/11 fireman.
Right, and he invented this cutting board, and he passed away, and they thought this is sort of his legacy, and I thought it was really...
And that board is on fire now. We've got to deal with them in major retail.
Really?
Yeah. We basically funded that company.
Yeah.
We don't own any of it. We just wanted it to be successful. They're giving back to the Fireman Fund, and I think that's fantastic. But every once in a while, a deal like that comes on Shark Tank. Another one was the farmer that invented a way to save water in Florida, watering trees, and he wanted just to give it to farmers. He just wanted to help farmers, and it was a tearjerker. I mean, it was beautiful.
I love that. All right, Kevin, here's a question that hopefully none of the people watching will ever have to face. It's something that I faced. I'm sure you faced this as well. When do you know, when you're trying, when you're an entrepreneur, like all of your energy, all of your passion, all of your drive, all of your motivation is going towards this one thing, and you believe in it with all of your heart. But there comes a point in some entrepreneurship journey where you've got to basically be honest with yourself, and you realize that, okay, this probably isn't working. Are there any warning signs or things that people should look for to know that it's time to look for a new direction? I think that's like the term shoot a bleeding dog, and I tell this story. When I had my fitness center, I would have sold my kidney to keep that business going. I would have done anything I could have, but the truth is, it was dead, and it was dead a long time before I would have sold my kidney. But but I would have done anything, and I only stopped because I didn't have any other choice.
Right.
But hopefully other people are smarter than that. Are there any like warning signs or things that you should look for, knowing like, okay, this is time to look for something else, or is it different for everybody and you really can't answer?
No, there's a very simple rule, and I've been saying this for years because I've watched it happen to including myself. Entrepreneurs start a lot of different things, and this will happen to people watching. They don't work. You don't need everything to work. You need one big hit if you're lucky, and that will fund all your losers going forward. But it's a very simple time equation because you only have so many productive years in your life, and you have to treat that as your most valuable asset. It's not money, it's time if you're an entrepreneur. And I say it's 36 months, it's 3 years. If your idea is still unprofitable after 3 years, you have to take it behind the barn and shoot it because it's just not going to work. And you have to be honest with yourself. You can have a special ceremony. You can buy a watch and inscribe the back of it saying, I took this idea behind the barn and I shot it because it's a dog. Because it is a dog, it's a loser, and it's eating your time. It's taking away from the time you could be spending on something that's going to work. And that is a crime in itself. That's the biggest mistake entrepreneurs make. They keep saying to themselves, the last 3 years I've invested are worth it, and I'm going to make this thing work. And they go year after year after year losing money, and finally, they just get dried up because all the investors around them saying, it's a dog, and you don't see it. We all see it, you don't, because you just can't let it go. It's a curse to an entrepreneur that can't take something behind the barn and shoot it after 3 years.
Great answer, and that's the answer I was looking for. So here's what we're going to do. My business partner, Kelly, he is a co-founder in Tiege Hanley.
I never thought this was going to work when you came up with this idea.
What are you talking about? I was never on Shark Tank with that. That's Pete and Pedro. Wrong business. See, he doesn't. I had to remind him who I was when I got here.
I just want to be negative for the heck of it. That's it. This is men's makeup, though, right?
No, skincare.
Well, okay.
Use a moisturizer.
You had skincare on your mind on Shark Tank.
No. So Kevin.
No, it was fashion. That was the first time. It was a doggy idea. $300 dog.
It was a dog.
I remember that idea was howling at the moon. I heard these, ow, and it was your idea on Shark Tank.
It was, and it didn't work out. But that just goes to show you that you keep working, you figure it out, and the next business, Pete and Pedro, is still going strong.
And this is a real deal, right? This is
Tiege Hanley. This is the one.
So what is this, my friend? What is Tiege Hanley?
Tiege Hanley is uncomplicated skincare for men. We basically have taken all the guesswork out of looking amazing.
Wow, there's a lot of product in here.
Oh, that's a level 3 box, yeah.
Is that like the heart?
That's like the top of the line. The guy's like our age.
Eyes.
Serum.
Really?
Yeah.
Does this stuff work?
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
You know what would tell me that it works? If it has any sales. What are the sales?
The sales are good.
What are they?
The sales are great, and that's not something that...
Is that like...
That's the secret.
Is that $10 a week or something, or you have real sales?
No, we've got real sales.
Let me ask you this. Is it more than $1 million?
We are doing more than $1 million. Here, hold on.
Whoa, are you kidding? No. In the most competitive space on earth?
That's what we did this month. Don't say it.
Fuck. Are you kidding? Really?
I'm not. Yes. That's what we did. Yeah. But here's the thing.
Wow, this is a real business.
This is a real business. Absolutely.
So how are you getting share from the giants? I mean, the cosmetic industry crushes guys like you like cockroaches.
Yeah, and you know what it is? We're a group of, or 3 scrappy startups, or 3 scrappy entrepreneurs that wanted to basically go against the grain. When you go into...
So you're not selling this retail, you're going direct only?
Complete direct
to
consumer.
Yeah, because I don't know how you get retail shelf space in this. It's so hard to buy your shelf space.
No, it's not. But yeah, we love our business, and our audience has been there, and that's really what it is about.
So those are amazing numbers.
Yep.
That's a profitable business for sure, because the margins are high in this business.
We haven't taken any money either, and that's the thing that's sort of...
How are you acquiring customers?
Well, we spend a lot of money on various ways. I mean, we do use...
Is it a profitable acquisition? Because any subscription service, any business that's acquiring new customers has to do it profitably, or you go out of business.
Yes, we are. We are profitable. We acquire profitably. The issue that we run into, as you know, with any subscription business is the churn, right?
The attrition. That's people that try it, and after 90 days they've got enough product, they're buying too much, they say, enough already, stop sending it to me.
And what we were focused on is acquiring more customers as opposed to
keeping them profitable.
Keeping them longer. Mm-hmm. And so over the course of the past year, we really doubled down on investing more in the customer experience and letting these guys know that we appreciate them. And so it's been more the past, I'd say, 12 months about keeping them longer. We still are acquiring at an amazing rate. We're growing incredibly fast, but there are some things that we need to figure out this year. We truly feel like we have been trying to sort of force people into a specific system, and we need to allow them to customize
I've looked
it a bit more.
at many of these models, particularly in cosmetics, because I love the margins. It's a fantastic business, but it's brutally competitive. In the subscription service business, for men and women, the number one reason attrition goes up is you're selling them too much product. And all of a sudden they take inventory of what they've got sitting under the sink and realize, whoa, I'm not using this much. The strategies that have lower attrition have figured out exactly what the usage is, sometimes using AI, for each individual account and adjusting accordingly and saying to them, listen, I've got your back on this. I don't want to send you more than you need. And I'm watching your usage of each of the products because I'm watching it, you know, how you're ordering them. And that, if you're just hitting them and you're seeing the attrition goes up, you got to reduce the amount.
All things that we are aware of and that we're focused
and so
on.
you need to have some way of because obviously you ship me all this stuff. You're not aware that I'm running out of the eye stuff first. That's the problem.
Well, one of the things that we have done,
unless the site allows me to say I need to double down on the eye.
well,
this
see,
month.
that's where we're going.
You got to go that way.
Yeah,
Thank goodness I'm here.
Thank you. It's a good thing you're here.
Exactly.
We did think of this, and
all the guys that are successful in lowering attrition, or churn as you're calling it, are letting me decide more scrub, less super serum.
or if you don't like X, you can
Swap out.
Exactly.
But by tailor making it for me, I care more about you because you care about me.
That's what's happening.
And then I get very sticky saying, I'm sticking with these guys because they really are taking care of what I need. And you know, obviously I don't need as much shampoo in my case.
Yeah.
Because I'm follically challenged, but you know, I love to have something that's good for my eyes. I want to keep my skin looking good, so maybe I'll use more of that.
And this is all about confidence. We're doing a great job in, you know, the acquisition.
Packaging's really good. I got to
it's
tell
sexy,
you,
right? And the thing is, the customers actually picked our color scheme.
you know, I
and
thought when you
everything.
brought this up to me, it was going to be a turd, but it's actually very good.
A turd. That's amazing.
Packaging's great. You got a lot of product. The numbers are fantastic.
We're gonna call
that really says it all.
See, and we're at the point now where we're a profitable business, you know, and we're being approached by these venture companies and people, and we've
Right.
said no, you know, we don't, because until you know how you're going to spend the money, or if you need to spend the money, because we've been
They'll
self-funded.
give you a good valuation because you've proven sales, but you're going to have to sell at least 33% of it. So that's going to reduce you down a lot in what you guys own, and you really have to decide if that's what you want. I've always said venture capital is great if you need it, but I don't think you need it yet.
We don't. And that's absolutely true. We don't need it. And we're kind of a unicorn in this space. We talk to a lot of other entrepreneurs that are in like a subscription business or this sort of realm, and everybody has taken a bunch of money. And we have not needed to, and we're profitable, very profitable, and so.
Well, then the other option you'll have when this thing grows, and those are good numbers, you'll just get acquired for some great multiple of sales, and that's a great outcome for any entrepreneur. And you start again, over and over again.
Why would you want to sell? I'm kidding. Okay, so here's what we're doing.
I've sold many businesses and started new ones.
Hold on. We're calling my business partner, Kelly. I told him that you were going to be here.
Okay.
And I said,
Hello, Kelly.
Kelly, hey, I'm here with Mr. Wonderful.
Kelly, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Mr.
Very,
Wonderful?
very good. I'm just looking at your product. I basically told your partner, Aaron, I thought this is going to be a turd, but I was wrong when I saw your numbers. I was really impressed.
Thanks.
So
I don't know if you remember him from Shark Tank or not, but you guys, kind of took a pass on him, but I grabbed him.
Oh, I know. I think you did a good thing. It was actually Barbara. And I'm gonna as soon as I leave here, I'm gonna call Barbara because I have a good relationship with her and tell her you missed a big one, and she'll just cry like a baby.
So Kelly, so we're doing the Tiege vlog this week and talking business, and it's funny because I started sort of telling Mr. Wonderful about sort of some of our struggles from a growth perspective and a churn perspective, and he zeroed in on one of the issues that we have realized we have, which is, you know, if you've got to allow people to customize a little bit more, and over giving them too much product is a bad thing. And so I wanted to call you because I knew that you had a business question to ask him, and I thought it would be valuable for the entire audience to sort of hear what you have to say. And so do you have a question for Mr. Wonderful?
I do. I've got a great question for you, Kevin. You guys always, or you specifically always talk about, your job is to make me money, right? And so if my job was to make you money and you were going to invest in, an entity, with me, what would your view be on the concept of cash flow versus versus growth. So specifically, like, are you looking more for a company with good and consistent cash flow, but not necessarily the growth potential that another company would have, or would you be looking for someone with kind of a modest initial positive cash flow, and some reasonable level of profitability, but that
Yeah, I
sustained
mean,
growth
you're
in
basically
revenue,
talking,
cash flow?
you're talking about reinvesting the cash flow before you take any out. I
Yeah.
get it. I totally get it. Here's my view of this, because
Yeah.
I have so many companies on my books now and so many different deals and so many different markets, in all kinds of consumer goods and services and some financial services and some technology companies. So let's say, I'll give you an example of one I'm having this exact dialogue with right now. I'm a 50-50 partner in it. I've put about $6 million into the deal, and now it's starting to spin cash. And so the debate I'm having with the partner is, wait a second, we've got $12 million invested between us. It's making money. Why don't we pay ourselves back a little bit before we take the next million it's going to make and expand the business? In other words, it's stable, it's got itself market share, it's built itself a brand, and now after 5 years, because I've been in the deal for 5 years, I'm in a situation where the thing is spinning cash. So I'm of the ilk that says, you don't live forever. I have this, if you know the business is growing, you should start to think of the context of 5 to 7 years to get your capital back. Doesn't mean you have to sell it. So what I'm saying to him is, look, let's do this. Let's return our capital now. Let's slow down the growth a little bit. Let's cut the growth in half to de-risk our portfolios. $6 million is a chunk of change. It takes me a lot of time to make $6 million, and I'd like to get that back. And then I'll put more growth metrics into the business because it's got enough share in its market and it's doing very well, but now it's returning capital. So my view is you've got to get your bait back within 5 years. That's what I want. Otherwise, it's a perpetual cash drain and you'll never get a return. Return of capital is more important than return on capital. That's my answer.
Did that answer your question, Kelly?
Spot on. Yeah, that's great. You can probably do both, right? You could have a good return on capital and excellent growth possibility.
Yeah, and you should
right?
put some numbers on that. If you're going to take capital and tie it up into a liquid asset, you want to be making 11% a year minimum. Now, in this case, I'll hopefully make more, but if I'm not making 11%, I'm taking huge risk and I'm going into liquidity, why am I doing that? Because I can make 6 or 7% in the market. I've got to make basically a significant amount more to tie myself up. I make these decisions every day. I listen to deals every day and I ask myself, how much capital, how long is it tied up, when do I get it back? It's a portfolio approach. But if all you do is invest in deals that never return cash, you'll starve to death.
But my question, and what if it's your business?
Yeah.
In terms of if you're Tiege Hanley,
Yeah.
and you are trying to balance, the growth with profitability, where do you put your effort?
If I were your partner, if we were 25% each or a third each, at this point, looking at the numbers I see there, I would probably do 1/3 return of capital to the partners and 2/3 to sustain the business. In other words, you've earned the right to de-risk yourself on this business. You've done something amazing. Those are incredible numbers, and you've basically found a way to acquire customers on a profitable basis. I think you should be returning, you take every dollar that comes into cash flow, 33 cents is distributed to the partners, and the other 66 cents stays in the business. Because you've earned that right now. You have enough. And a lot of people say, no, it's all about the business. Well, I got to tell you why I think this way. I've seen, and I've been doing this for many, many years, in every business, poo-poo happens. You don't know what it's going to be. You have no idea. The black swan event can wipe you out. You don't know why or when. It just happens. But if you de-risk yourself by taking out a portion, maybe you make it 25%, it's 25-75. But once the company's business just is profitable on a cash flow basis, just like I talked about on mine, I want to take some off the table. And I want to redeploy it and do other things with it and de-risk my portfolio by deploying it in some other idea. I think that's what you guys should do. Not spend every dollar of cash flow to grow it. You don't have to do that. You're profitable.
Kelly?
You're going to make one of our partners sappy.
Hey, listen. You should listen to Mr. Wonderful. There's only one Mr. Wonderful, and he knows what he's talking about. One day you're going to thank me for this.
Hey, if you're ever in Chicago, you should stop by and see Tiege Hanley. It's a pretty amazing
But
business.
that's why it's a partnership. You got to convince at least two of you guys. What are you, three guys in this business?
Yeah.
Two of you have to. I hope you have the majority rules, right?
Well, that's where we're gonna end it.
Like that.
Yeah, Kelly, you rock. Love you, man. Thank you. I'm gonna finish this vlog up.
Really, thanks, Aaron.
Ciao.
See you guys. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. I think that's where we're going to wrap things up. Guys, here's the deal. Down below this video is the video that we did on Ask Mr. Wonderful, or Kevin's channel, the Mr. Wonderful channel, the Ask Mr. Wonderful sort of video series, which is really picking up steam.
Yep.
You got over 100,000 subscribers.
It's great. Well, you were a great guest on it. I can't wait to drop yours. It's going to be very good. I'm going to put all kinds of crazy stuff in it when I get a chance to edit that thing. He's not going to remember what he said when I'm finished with it.
So I had to remind Kevin who I was when he walked into the hotel room. I'm like, hey, he's like, you were on Shark Tank, right? I go,
Exactly.
yeah, but you see a lot of people. In each
Yeah, we've had thousands.
Yeah, thousands.
It's 12 years of deals, but I never forget a good guy. That's why I forgot you.
Kevin, you're a rock star. Thank you so much for your
Take
time.
care.
Guys, we'll see you next week. Down in the comments, if you've got a business question, start it with business question, ask it. Next week, we're going to get to more of your questions, and we're also going to be going to Chicago in about 2 weeks, and so you get to see the rest of the gang. Guys, we love you more than what? Our double monk strap shoes. See you next week, guys. Thanks, Kevin.
You got it.
Perfect. I need a thumbnail for this. That was great.